Okay, let's talk about melodic embellishment. And what that means is non-chord tones. We've looked at these before. They first popped up in second species counterpoint. In 18th century style, we've got three main ones that we use, and they're the same three main ones that we used in second species counterpoint. But there's one big thing that's different about them. So first, let's talk about what are those three different types of non-chord tones. So a little bit of review. They are passing tones, neighbor tones, and consonant skips. Let's go out here and just do... So let's say I'm in the key of D here. So let's put just like a big old D somewhere. Okay, here's the D. Now let's go D, E, F sharp. Okay, easy enough. So passing tone. This is a consonant. This is a D to a D. This is a D to an F sharp here. A third, another consonant. This is a D to an E. That's a second. That's a dissonance. So, but we just pass through it. That's a passing tone. That's okay. So passing tone. Neighbor tone. Something like that. Here we have a consonant, D to D. Here we have a consonant, D to D. Here we have D to E. It's still a dissonance, but now we got it by just going up and back down. Like a neighbor. Like we went over there, now we come back. Going over, borrow some butter, coming back. That's what you do with your neighbor. You borrow butter. Okay, so there's that. Consonant skips. Something like this. Here we have a consonant skip. So both notes are consonants, but we've got a bigger interval in between them. Here would be another one. So a big skip in between them, or a leap even in between them, but both consonant intervals. So those are the kind of three types of melodic embellishments or non-chord tones that we're looking at. Here's the big difference. In this style, they can be anywhere. And in the previous style, and in second species or the other species that we looked at, they had to be on a weak beat. They always had to be on a weak beat. So either the second or fourth beat, or in between beats if we were working on eighth notes in the later species. But now the dissonance can happen on a strong beat. So look at this little excerpt here. Let's just hear it. Okay, that's nice. Let's hear that a little bit slower to see if we can really kind of pick out where the dissonance is. Okay, listen for a dissonance. Okay, did you hear it? It's not a real strong dissonance, but let's go through and look at our intervals really quick here. I'm going to go all the way back here and just grab that. Okay, so I'm in the key of D here, so I have a B and a D. Now it's important to note that I'm not starting at the beginning. This is an excerpt from a middle measure of a piece. So I'm not going to worry about making the beginning one of those perfect intervals. But the interval of a B to a D is the interval of a third. I could have kept that. That's okay. Now, here I have A to a D, which is a fourth. And let's just keep going, then we'll come back and address that. Here I have G to a D, that's a fifth. F to an A, that's a third. F to F sharp, I should say, to a B, that's a fourth. And E to a C, that is a sixth. Okay, so here are my intervals now. Let's make these a little more straight because that's how I roll. Okay, first of all, let's look right here. Fourth is a dissonance, right? And this is now on a strong beat because we're moving in kind of quarter note style. So the weak beat is the eighth note here and here. So this is a strong beat and it resolves here. This A goes down to G, to a consonant. So we have a dissonance on a strong beat. That was a no, no, no in prior counterpoint styles. Now it's okay. And in fact, you would find in a lot of pop music that we do that now. We like to have a dissonance on a strong beat and then resolve it to a weak beat. It's a very common thing in a lot of music now. So this is kind of where we first started to get that sense. It's kind of fun to see how this evolves, right? But now notice here. Here we have a dissonance, a similar dissonance on a weak beat. So they can still happen on weak beats. They don't have to be on strong beats. But weak beats and strong beats, our dissonance can now be allowed, right? So here we have a passing tone. This fourth is a passing tone where the dissonance lands on a strong beat. Here we have another passing tone where the dissonance lands on a weak beat, right? So to sum up, we have passing tones, neighbor tones, and consonant skips all allowed. Same rules with those apply as before, except in addition to being on weak beats, they can now have the dissonance on a strong beat. Now that you know where this dissonance is and how this note, this dissonance resolves on the weak beat to this fifth, let's hear it again at this really slow tempo. Right, you hear that da da da. So this is dissonance resolution on the weak beat. Probably doesn't sound all that strange to you because you hear it a lot in modern music.